X Reviews, and I'm coming at you with another e-cigarette review today from a familiar vendor, and that's going to be www.lecig.com. Now, I've done a couple of reviews for them before, and I'm back to do another one. Mike was nice enough to send me this particular product to do a review for you guys, and that's what I'm going to do. Guys, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Lavatube. Now, you may or may not have heard of this. The Lavatube, it is a variable voltage device ranging from 3 volts all the way up to 6, and it is kind of a flagship classic start-off mod that most of you may or may not heard of, like I said. But I'm going to go ahead and break down some of the characteristics of how this thing works, as well as show you a video on exactly how the digital display works. So in case you're in the market for buying one of these, you have a pretty clear idea as to how to use it. So let's get right into it, guys. The Lavatube, first of all, characteristics. This thing is really, really light, which is, some mods that you have out there are just chunks of chrome, really heavy mods, like the Preveri and some of the other ones. It's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. This one, because of the aluminum, composite of how this thing is made, just happens to be super, super light, which, I kind of like in this case. I do like both. I also like the heavier style ones, but the Lavatube has always been made from this same particular material. Now, they also come in black as well as silver, and I think some sites even offer like a burgundy red one from what I've seen. But guys, it's just really it's really cut and dry. It's got the digital display screen here. It's got a plus and minus button to go up and down through your voltages, and it's got a red power button, and of course your ignition button on the side. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. The ignition button is just a really nice mangle button. It's got a really good clicky feel to it. Some devices have like just a rubber button or kind of a more simple button. I like this one. It's sort of it sort of contours nicely to the tube and just has a really strong feel to it. You can tell it was built well into the device, and that's nice. It's important to have a good button. Let me see some other characteristics of the Lavatube. Well, you got your vent hole in the bottom. Like I've said in many videos, most mods have the vent hole now for batteries, or in case you happen to get a battery that just might be, bad. Most of them aren't, but if you happen to have that, it's nice to have the vent hole. Should have that. On the top here, you're going to see a 510 connection. Doesn't have an ego cuff on it. This is a straightforward flush 510 connection. And it actually does have a little bit of a well in there in case you get some run over from your tank or whatever cart you happen to be using on the device. There is a little bit of a well for liquid, so it doesn't run over the sides. That's a nice feature. Other than that, it's really it's a lot of different companies have their own version of the Lavatube, and they put their own stamp or brand on it. But for the most part, these things have always maintained their shape. And one of the features is on the bottom cap that screws in. There's kind of these little dimples that stick out all the way around it, as well as on the top there is dimples that are indented into the device. So I think that's just kind of there for looks, and there's really nothing wrong with it. So moving on, the Lavatube does take an 18650 battery, IMR battery. Or at least that's what I'm using for it. I do believe there's combinations to that. I think you can, if you so choose, you can stack 2 18350s or perhaps 18450s. Not exactly sure. I myself use an 18650 battery, and that's just one battery. Fits in there fine, and that's at 2000 milliamp hours. That's the battery I use for this guy. So let's go ahead and put the battery in there. And as I said, I'm kind of just going to run over the characteristics of this thing, put a tank on it, show you how it vapes, give you a demonstration of that. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut to a scene that shows you exactly how the digital display works. So you've got a kind of a top to bottom of what this thing looks like, how it vapes, and how the digital display screen works. So just noticing that the bottom cap that screws in on this particular model from Lavatube, for whatever reason, it's got really smooth threading. I've seen other Lavatubes that don't have as smooth a threading. They're a little more, there's a few more cracks in the threading. For whatever reason, Lavatube has a particular Lavatube model that actually has some nice threading to it. So that's a plus. Anyhow, guys, you put your 18650 battery positive side in. Really simple. Screw your bottom on like so, and you're ready to go with the battery. If you hold down the red button in the front for 2 to 3 seconds, it will turn the device on. And as I said, I'll go over that when I do the digital display. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this thing on, and we'll get right into it. I'm going to put it up to 5 volts, which is my preferred level on this guy here, a DCT dual coil tank. I think 5 volts is just about right because you're getting 2.5 to each coil. Makes sense. And boom, as you can see, the dual coil fits on there really nice. It's about the same width as the Lavatube, so it's really flush. You know, it just looks nice. The smaller 3mm ones look good as well. I happen to like the look of the bigger tank on it. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a demonstration of how this thing vapes, what the vapor production is like, and then we're going to go ahead and cut to the digital display instructions for you. So this is the Lavatube from Lavatube. As you can see, great vapor production. I mean, this is at 5 volts, and the liquid I'm using is a 90% VG, 10% PG level. So, you know, the vapor production is really gonna hinder more on your VG level and obviously, you know, your volts. So. Really nice, guys. For all intensive purposes, it's just a really nice, inexpensive variable voltage device. This thing is, they've been around for a while. I think they're a great starter tube and variable voltage device for those just getting into it, you know, before you kind of step into the big guys with variable wattage or even a Preveri for that reason, which is a, you know, very high priced item. But these are very reasonable and will give you kind of a feel of how these kind of devices work. I love them. I'm a huge fan. I've got an old Lavatube that I've had for, you know, a couple of years now. It still works, and I still use it, and I like it. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the scene where I show you how the digital display works, and then I'm going to come back and wrap this video up. So see you in a couple minutes. Okay guys, so this is how the Lavatube digital display works. Very simple. You have a plus and minus button here, as well as a red power button. You will hold the red power button for 2 to 3 seconds to turn the device on. 1, 2, 3, like so, and it will turn on. You then can go from a low of 3 volts all the way up to 6 volts. Very simple. Now, if you want to hold your voltage level at 4.3, for instance, you press both the minus button and the plus button at the same time, and it will lock in to 4.3 volts. Another feature is if you press the red button 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it will tell you approximately how much battery life you have left. In this case, I have 4.1, and I think at around 3.2 to 3 is when you'd want to charge it. Other than that, guys, that is exactly how it works and how the functions work. Alright guys, you've seen it here. That is the Lavatube from Lavatube.com. Go to the website, check it out, get on board. Till next time, this is Jai with VapeX Reviews, and I'm signing out. Happy vaping.